Bodybuilding. I think I'm not there. I feel like I'm ready. Okay, celebrating the journey we have all been on to get us to where we find ourselves right now. So that quote I've put up on the screen there is like, your journey to growth starts when you decide to stop settling for what you're given and actually finally go after what you really want. So what do we celebrate then? I believe what you celebrate is what it's taken you to get to where you are in your life right now. Because every single one of us is on this journey, and life's like this. It's roller coaster. It's full of ups and downs. But each step that you take and each challenge that you get through helps you to become the person that you're meant to be. And it gets you, and it's, it gets you to where you should be going and what you're here for. Because otherwise, what is the purpose of life if it's not to be evolving all the time? Otherwise, life gets boring. So, and life's like this winding road with lots of forks and turns and along the way. And it's easy to get caught up in that destination too. But it's the journey that really matters, because your journey is your own and no one can take that from you. Like who would you be right now if you had not gone through all of the adversity that you've gone through? Like, think about the worst things that you've struggled with and ask yourself how you've grown from that, and acknowledge that, and what you will or won't do anymore, what you will or won't accept anymore. Like, how would you know to do any of that? Well, it's like being a parent, right? How would you react as a parent now had you not been exposed to the challenges that you were exposed to as a child? So I believe we need this adversity to show us who we are, and we need challenge to make us dig deep. So welcome to MindFit Mornings, where I help you sharing the tools and concepts so you can live your life by your design rather than existing by default. And if you've joined us for the first time, this month's theme is celebrating the journey that we take to become who we are, even if we're still on that journey. And actually, we're always going to be on that journey. We're always going to be learning something about ourselves. And this is about deciding to dig deep and unpack those places in your hearts and minds where unresolved issues are silently sabotaging you. Because what's not resolved, you're not free in that area. And you'll know where those areas are by the ways that you get triggered. So this month, it's all about celebrating that journey on the what to do, why to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And today's topic is the what do you celebrate. So I want you to celebrate the progress that you've made. And it doesn't matter how small that progress is. The lessons that you've learned and the moments that have shaped you. And like, who are you because of it? Okay. Our challenges shake us up, and they give us reason to look at life from a different perspective on who we're being and how we're being and what we believe or what we don't believe. And everyone's journey, as I said, is different, and it teaches us something when we look for the lesson instead of getting caught up in the drama that's going on. If we can step back and take a deep breath and go, okay, what am I learning from this? Okay, where am I going with this? And what's it teaching me? It's like a big emotional guidance school. We learn how to be resilient and we become more resourceful. We can get motivated. I mean, I know it can demotivate you too, but that's only when you get caught up in the drama, rather than going, if this is teaching me something, what is it teaching me? So, and you can learn so much from that. You can learn to understand who you are and how you react to certain situations and why you react in that way. And is there a better way to react that's more positive for you, that's more constructive for you? And then we can learn how to acknowledge and understand the people that have shaped us and influenced us along the way, as well as honor those who've been there for you, of course. But everything and everyone is in our lives for a reason. I firmly believe that. And the circumstances, I think they come into our lives to, like I said, to shake us up and go, are you ready? Think you're ready for the next level of life or the next level of whatever it is you're going through? Here's a test. I think Mother Nature's a beast. She gives you the test first and the lesson afterwards, right? So you can get caught up in all of that, and you can play poor me. Why is this happening to me? And all of that. That's a really weak place to come from. It's not going to help you, and it's not going to give you what you want from life. And it's actually going to make you dependent on other people and everything else. It's not a strong place to be. But if you change that to like, okay, why is this happening for me, right? What do I need from this experience? That's such a powerful place to come from, because then you can go, okay, this is happening for me. What do I need it for? How am I growing from this? Okay, like, and this, I can tell you for absolute certainty, I know things are really challenging and that sometimes it's hard to see that. Like for me, coming home as a 15-year-old girl to a completely empty house and knowing that I'd been abandoned. I could get caught up in that moment of like, mum's taking my sister, dad's taking my brother. Why didn't anyone want me? What's wrong with me? I could have stayed there, but I was determined to not let that moment in time determine who I became or what I thought about myself. Instead, I used it to drive me to succeed so I could prove all those people wrong. It's probably the main reason, well, it is the main reason I studied law for 6 years, because my father said, you'll never be anything. So you can go about proving these people wrong, all right? Or you can get caught up in it and feel sorry for yourself and think you're not lovable. And that's just not true, all right? That's their behavior. Why does their behavior mean anything about you, okay? So my abandonment sent me on that journey to learn everything I could about human behavior. It gave me the most intense need and desire to know everything there was to know about things like emotional intelligence and how the mind works, and how faulty thinking can create a faulty life. Because I knew deep down I was a good person, that I tried my best. And I may never have grown or be so driven had that experience not been part of my journey. So by celebrating your journey, by acknowledging your triumphs and defeats, you start coming from a more powerful place. As I said, you can look at life and go, this is rubbish, but without those bad times, I wouldn't appreciate the good times. Okay, without the challenges, maybe you'll never become the resilient, resourceful person you are right now. And if you're struggling with something right now, understand that, that it's there to teach you something. And if you step back and go, okay, if she's right, what's it teaching me? And it might not be fun, most things aren't, but it will teach you something if you look for that lesson. Like one of my biggest triumphs was mastering my negative self-talk, and I had to go, well, that's not true. Now, to help you on that, I've come up with 8 steps for you. And the first is taking that first step, right? No matter how small, progress is progress, right? And reward yourself for taking that first step. And I know sometimes that's a big hurdle to get there. And all of my clients, that's the biggest thing. It's just like starting. But once you start and you have a vision and of who you want to be, and from where you are now to where you want to be, what's the gap in the middle, and what am I doing hovering in here? And I will never achieve or be what I want to be or have the life I want if I stay in that middle ground. So think about, what do I need to do to take the first step? And that comes to my second point of facing your fears. And sometimes you got to just, as my daughter said, put your big curl panties on, right? It's not easy overcoming fears and anxiety. But when you start doing that, even if it's the tiniest little bit, expand your comfort zone just a little bit and a little bit each day, it's a huge accomplishment. And you can be really proud of yourself for facing those fears head on. Right? And then the third thing is notice how you learn from mistakes. I know at one point I used to beat myself up for not being perfect, for not getting it right first time, what am I so stupid? But that's just such a silly place to come from, because we're not supposed to get things right first time, and growing is in the learning. So I came up with, like, you either get it right and you win and you learn something, or it doesn't work out the way you thought it was and you still learn something. So either way you win, right? It's a win-win. Because if you think that life is about learning, not about getting it right or getting it wrong or being a winner or a loser, I hate those games. I never did those games with my children. Life is about learning. So what did I learn from that? It didn't work out the way I thought it would. What did I learn? It worked out perfectly. Perfect. What did I learn so I can repeat that, right? So stop judging yourself as less when it doesn't work out the way that you thought it would. Just think, okay, that didn't work out. What do I need to change so that I can make it work? Remember Thomas Edison and the light bulb, 10,000 ways it didn't work. Imagine if he'd have had that attitude of being a failure. Maybe we wouldn't have our lights, right? So then the fourth point I want to share with you is about taking risks. If you've taken any risks, be proud of yourself for taking those risks, because in order to grow, we need to step outside that comfort zone and take risks. And they may be tiny risks. It doesn't matter. It's your journey. You can take as long as you want on that journey. And then the fifth one is, if you've kept going, even when things have got tough and you've stayed with it and you've not given up, I want you to be proud of that, because you've persevered. I want you to go, you know what? I did it. Yeah, it wasn't easy. I hurt and I wanted to give up so many times, but I didn't, right? Because sometimes it is easier just to give up. I can totally relate to that. Been there so many times. But you know what I do? I remind myself that whoever hurt me, if I give up, they're still winning. They're subconsciously controlling what I think and feel about myself, or my self-worth and my belief is questioned. And I thought, I'm not giving them that power. So I'm going to succeed because of it, right? And that takes me to my 6 points of celebrating your wins. Doesn't matter how big or how small they are. You celebrate those wins. And I'm going to share with you how and when and what to do with those in the rest of this month. But when you do celebrate that, it keeps you motivated and you'll continue to grow through that. And you're telling your unconscious mind too that you're on the right track. Like, this is more like it. This is where I'm going and I'm proud of me. Okay, because that's a hard thing to do, but I want you to practice it. And then think about how you've helped to 7 points. And think about how you've helped others along their journey. By sharing your experience, your knowledge, and your wisdom, you're helping others grow as well. And that's particularly important if you're a parent. Your children are learning everything about life. You're creating a blueprint for them to follow. So how you deal with stress, how you deal with each other, how you deal with life's challenges, they're watching you and they're learning that. And they're going to grow up and do things very similarly, just like you're doing, right? Think about that. How are you doing things from the lessons that you learned by what you saw growing up? And then the last point I want is you've still grown, okay? No matter what's happened, you've still grown as a person. Because if you've done the tiniest little thing, you're not the same person today as you were yesterday. And so, if you do 1% every single day, that's quite a few 100% by the end of the year, right? So keep growing and learning and you'll accomplish great things. So the final thing I want to share with you is that on any personal growth journey, it's important to celebrate you. As I said, be proud of yourself for even making a choice and starting off to get there, to want more, to be more, to have more, right? And every little thing that you get through, think of the effort it took to keep you on track, to keep you motivated. All of that's worth celebrating. So a reminder then that you're capable of amazing things and you have so much to give. Your journey is your own and no one can take it away from you and no one can live it for you. It's like going to the gym, right? No one can do your push-ups for you, right? And life is full of ups and downs. And the biggest problem that people have is they think they shouldn't have any, right? Life is challenges, guys. But each step helps you become the person you were meant to be. So never, ever give up. Never give up on yourself. Other people might give up on you, but you never, ever do that. Keep going because you're worth it. And that's it for me today. I want you to constantly work on your personal growth, leveling up your mindset and get MindFit and go after what you really want in life. So next Tuesday, we'll celebrate why we celebrate the journey. So thank you for being here. Be sure to join my online community. The link is down below or on the screen. And share if you found any value in this and you think it might help someone. I would love you to share it, comment, and let me know what you think. As always, my greatest wish is for you to be MindFit so you can live your best life and live it with passion. Reset, be authentic, and be you. Bye for now.